Spoken
I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed of that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I've dreamed of waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Kent Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Spoken
You wake up one morning after not reading a book since your school days and you decide to be a writer. With no good or bad writing to compare against your own. You just know how to write and anyone who tells you otherwise is wrong. Hell, maybe they're jealous of your natural ability to craft the masterpiece. After all, most people need to learn through a combination of books, courses, critical feedback and workshops. Not you though. It's not their fault they don't realise your natural talent, but they soon will.
How to Write Wrong is the new book by Amanda Steele. The book, which is an interactive story, gives the reader multiple options throughout its story. The book can be purchased from Amazon.
Spoken
Thank you today for tuning in to Spoken Label. Spoken Label was originally set up at the beginning of 2016 and as of recording has over 200 sessions in our archive. Although the podcast can be heard on Anchor, iTunes, Apple, Spotify, YouTube and literally 10 or 11 other networks, the full archive can be found at Spoken Label, all one word, spokenlabel.bandcamp.com. On Bandcamp, it is set as pay what you want, so you are entitled, if you wish, you can download it or stream it for nothing. But if you throw me a couple of pennies my way, it is always eternally grateful to help me maintain the operating costs and future running costs of this podcast. Enjoy.
Spoken Label.
Hi guys, Andy N, Spoken Label, back in the house on Zoom again today, and we're across the seas again now. Now, the gentleman I brought with today, when I first spoke to him, we worked it out just over 3 years ago. He certainly wasn't living where he is now. That's all I'm looking forward to.
No. Bit warmer, mate. Bit warmer.
Oh yeah, slightly warmer and not as damp and as snowy as we've had up here as well. So I've got David Mellor with me today. He's a great bloke. So first spoke to Dave here back in November 2017, and it shocked the pair of us. So Dave, of course, introduce yourself to everybody. Tell them where you're originally from and where you've gone now, and we'll take it from there.
Right. It's a long story, really. So I was originally from Liverpool. And then moved out to sort of somewhere not that far from St Helens when I was younger. Quite a working class upbringing, really. School was a shambles. Was left on Thatcher's dump heap and everything, and started doing education then. And first started to write in the mid '80s, and started doing education, and then went through eventually to become a social worker. But I started to perform in the 1980s, and when I read the poems out later on, they're going to be the ones which people have marked out over the years, really. So I was in the work situations. I don't know what it's like now to be in employment in England, but for me, it was very much, I was in the rat race. And the rats were eating me, and I decided to get out of that, really. And I moved with my Turkish wife to Turkey off the coast of the Aegean Sea. And I had the pretentious idea I was going to come over here and be a writer. And I actually did. Sort of continue writing and spend time doing that. And as well as doing poems, doing other things as well, which will come to later on.
Cool. Now, obviously, like I said, it's people to clarify. You're not living in Turkey, aren't you? So obviously, people don't. Where are you living in Turkey nowadays? Then?
I'm living not far from Izmir. It's actually across Opposite me is Lesbos, the Greek island. And where I am now, used to be populated by the Greeks. So you've got old Greek houses, and it's very oldie, worldy, and you still got like fishing boats coming in. And you get a lot of tourists, mainly from the big cities of Istanbul and everything. And I live in a small little house overlooking a forest, and we have sheep coming past and stuff like that. It's
Wow.
yeah, it's a bit like that.
Wow.
So it's okay. It gets a bit sometimes cold in the winters. You don't get much. There's not many gas supplies running through and what have you, but we're doing okay this year. It's not been that cold. It's about 18 degrees, so that's okay at the moment.
Oh, it's considering we're at the moment, we've been getting to -3 or 4 every night around Manchester.
I know.
So that's 18 is nice. But bro, I've been to Cyprus and I've been to Greece as well. I'm unfortunately both from the Greek sides, but I know how warm it gets in the summer, so I can guess where you are. It probably hits 40 and 50 probably in summertime, doesn't it? Then
not as bad as that. It gets into the sort of actually, you're right. It does get to about 35 or 40 sometimes, and you actually can't breathe or move around. But I can't complain, as you said. Especially this time of year. You know what I mean? When you can, I think I was still able to swim in November in the sea. So this is probably annoying your viewers. So I think we'll talk about snowy Manchester. Rain in Manchester would be the.
Well, I'd put it see, Dave. Time we finish today, when lockdown eventually lifts, let's see if people from Manchester end up flipping over to Turkey next to go on holiday.
Well, you have populations of English people in certain parts of Turkey. Not far from Marmaris, there's a big community of about 100,000, 150,000. So you do get English people scattered mainly around the south of the country. So.
No, cool. Now, obviously, as I know you, you're a writer, like you said. So you were telling me off mic before. We're going to talk about how you've been doing bits of work, haven't you, in Turkey? I want to learn about how your creative approach has changed since you've been to Turkey.
It's been one of two things. Is when you come away from somewhere, or the work can be overwhelming in England. I used to get emails and New Year's Eve, do this report or something. You're able to write, and then I came away here, and I started to write more about, I don't know, your whole life comes in front of you again. So I was writing more how nature was affecting how I was. So I carried on doing the poems, and then contacted a few universities, and I was set up to do 2 readings in Istanbul in March.
Wow! Yeah.
Of last year. Yeah. Week beforehand, of course, COVID restrictions came in, but they did a few translations, and it went into a magazine, and I was pretty pleased with that. Translated into Turkish. One of them was the Daily Count of Lives, which I thought, as I'll come to later on, which I thought was good that it translates to different languages. But then when I was here, what I started to do was to write little short stories about my observations of Turkey, little funny ones. There was a guy who I was on the train each day, and he would wave at people and talk to people at the station, and he was pretending to wave people off because he was so lonely. This station in the middle of Turkey was a gathering place for all the lonely men about midnight, and they would meet and talk to people and pretend that they were meeting people off trains. So I did stuff about that, and about So I did funny stuff about just daily observations, not with any idea they were going to be published or any chance of them being published, just for the fun of it. And then it starts to build up and build up. So the man who waves at trains, we sent to a magazine, a really quite a big literature magazine. You know, the sort that you can buy on a corner shop.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They printed that and they said, come back to us with a book length version and we might print it as a book. And we're talking here about Penguin style. So I sent it off eventually, New Year's Eve, you know, just to like finish the year off. I've actually done something.
Wow.
And so I did things like I did fables, I did funny stories of my own personal experiences. You know, there's one about we were in a taxi and the Turkish people love football. And my wife supports Galatasaray and I support Liverpool. And he was really pleased that I liked Galatasaray and I like Liverpool. And then he said, I'll get you home. However, there's a big hill to my wife's place full of ice. And he was so determined to get us up there. He said, no, I will get you there. The car was sliding down over to fall into a motorway. But to him, he had to get us there. So daily little incidents like that. And I filled up quite a few stories. And then I did like, I suppose, like modern fairy tales about Turkey. I don't know where they came from. And I suppose I started to take myself more seriously as a writer. So short stories came into my head as alongside the poetry things.
Wow. I think it goes that way sometimes. I'm always a firm believer, Dave, when you're writing. You find sometimes everything moves at its own natural progression a lot of the time. But that's what clearly happened to you there. The change in scenery has basically probably helped you, made you look at things in a different way, probably, hasn't it, really? So, but that's brilliant.
It does, because it's been, I mean, I was looking before, I think a few months before the pandemic, I wrote absolutely nothing at all. And then a couple came along of poems which I think, I got angry with the situation. So I wrote the poems, and one of them I'll read again later on. So I sort of kick-started everything else again, really.
Yeah, of course. I get you completely with that. Now, we're here today to really talk about your new collection, aren't we, that came out the back end of last year.
Yeah.
So this is it.
That's right.
It's a collection. So this, God, so get this right. They get my tongue twisted me this. So this is it. And I listen. So
yes, this is it.
It is. It's the wrong way around. Yeah, cool. Now,
I know.
You've got a good story about this. So tell us about how you got in touch with the publishers in this one.
Well, it was a strange one, really, because this publishing house based in India, and for some reason, many of my poems on YouTube, I have more followers from India than I actually do from England sometimes. So, and then he thought, we've seen your work and we'd like to publish it. So I thought, well, it's a scam, this, you know what I mean? There's no one's going to approach you like this. So I got it together and I thought, well, this seems all right. And then I was working with them and I sent a few, like my whole life from the first time we do the pen to put it forward. And they're quite a big publishing house, Taj Mahal Press, and the person in charge is quite well known in India, and they published it across the world. So I thought, well, so that's how it started, really.
Brilliant, yeah. Now, obviously, tell people a bit about this book itself, then. So obviously, like you said, you did, if my memory is correct, you told me this was like almost like a greatest hits poems collection of yours, wasn't it? So. Or am I imagining things?
I think the structure of the book came from basically to look over the whole of your written life, and I just chose those poems from all the other poems, all the different poetry books I've done, and just put them in a rough sequence of way back in 1980, late 80s, right up to the present day. So a sort of a journey, and basically saying, look, well, this is it. You know, this is what I've done, really. Yeah.
What made it? Where did the idea of the title come from then? So this is it then.
Well, basically, I've always self-deprecation has always been something behind many English people. So I'm playing tongue in cheek with it. I'm playing like, oh, so this is it? Is this all it is? You know what I mean? Or so this is it. It's great, you know. But the other poems, the first collection I did was What a Catch. And then it was the last one before that was Express Nothing. And then it was Somebody. A lot of it is because of my upbringing, I suppose. It's very difficult to accept myself as a writer. I keep thinking someone's going to tap me on the shoulder and go, Mr. Mellor, you're going back into the fucking factory again. You know what I mean? You know, it's like, you know, it's it's that sort of you know, not taking myself too seriously, but sometimes in a bad way, not believing in myself, which is quite damaging sometimes.
I think sometimes when you've had an upbringing that you've had there, so I can relate to that a lot myself, because the school I was at, I had a lot of trouble myself in the last 2 years when I was schooling, and it took me probably years to get over the peer pressure of that. Basically, yours is a similar situation. So like it's, I think you have to you doubt yourself a lot sometimes, you do, and even though your talent's there, you keep expecting someone saying, "Nah, it's all you're going to step out of the shower in like a Dallas scene or something, aren't you?" So it's all wake up.
Yeah. And also you take criticism. You haven't got the backbone that some other people have. I see other people who develop a more stronger belief because that's ingrained in their education of how important they are. You know what I mean? While working class people are ingrained in, you're not really that important. You're lucky if you get a job, and keep bowing to your master, keep bowing to the Queen, keep bowing to evil people like Boris Johnson. Really, you know, they are the clever ones, and all you can do is possibly shout at football matches, or you can't even do that now. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, not that at the minute, that's for sure. So yeah,
no, not that. No, I know.
Completely, completely. No, I agree completely with it. So, and that's why yourself, like, you get that sort of thing, you think yourself afterwards, "But is this is too good to be true?" So I can understand it. Everybody publishers, and even like I said, you had a good experience with them. Sometimes you doubt yourself. You got that actual book in your hand or something like that. Because my third book actually got an offer. I had an offer come through from the American publishers for it before I went and self-publisher, and I turned it down because I went for all the bits and pieces with them, and then they did a change of contract on me, and they want me to pay you, was it either $50 or $100 for editing and processing, and I thought, and I know someone else had been with them, and I asked them about it, and they said to me, "It's nothing I did." They said to me, "No, they haven't done that on them." So I thought, "Oh, you've got greedy." Aye, you do like it, you worry sometimes, don't you? So.
Well, I did. So I sent them off thinking, okay, they said something like, you know, can you buy 10 copies? I said, well, just send us, when it's printed, send me a sample copy. And they also did a short story which got published, and that was, about relationships in a time of COVID, really, you know, love in the time of everything being a bit shit. And I'll send you the link to that sort of book. And that triggered me off thinking stories could be published. But it is a very difficult market out there, really. You know, you don't know who to trust.
You've got to navigate things very, very carefully. I know all the stories, definitely. So, have you said before, have you done many readings actually in Turkey since you moved over there then?
Have I done, sorry, what?
Have you done many readings since you went to Turkey?
That was going to happen in March. There's none of the universities are open here. No live venues are open. So everything's on hold. I
wasn't sure the situation was like where you are. That's why.
No, I mean, we have all cafes and pubs are closed, and all universities and all schools have been closed for God knows how long. So there's no real. My big hope is that if the book gets accepted, you know, you've sent it off to them now, and you know, my English take of being in Turkey, see what that happens, and that could lead to other things with the poems and everything. But it's the same as England. Everything's on hold. No one really knows what's going to happen next till maybe the summer, I would have thought.
Yeah, no, I agree. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed to the summertime, definitely with it. So
I think that's the time.
Wait and see, don't we? So, do you have any sort of plans for your writing going forward or anything? Would you like to do another book, do you reckon?
I'd like to say, I mean, with the poetry, I think I'll just continue to write, and I publish a lot online, you know, on Facebook in particular, the poetry of David R Mellor, or the Seamless one, where I do more, I don't know, more thoughtful ones. I keep sending them off, but definitely the observations of, if this book gets accepted, and they were very encouraging by the stories, and you know, that could be a way in which I get known within Turkey.
Yeah,
you know,
completely.
Bizarrely enough, I could be, I fingers crossed, I could be, you know, massively published in Turkey and not known in England, which would be almost like Oscar Wilde going off to Paris or something. You know what I mean?
No, good luck with it, definitely with that one. So, plus mine, so keep us informed, definitely with that. Now, if people want to find out more about you, Dave, where are the best going? I know you've got your page on Facebook, haven't you, Phil?
Yeah.
And the books.
I mean,
for a book, I know it's on Amazon. I've seen it.
Well, if you actually look on Amazon, you'll see all the books are there. So if you type in David R Mellor, you will see them. You will see them all there. Or if people want to, you know, try to contact me directly on my Facebook site or what have you, I can let them know more. I also use YouTube a lot for different readings, make up my own videos or stuff like that. So that's the main areas. But the Project David R Mellor on Facebook is a place in which I tend to share most things.
Cool. I know. Well, that's covered all the questions for today with you, anyway, Dave. So we're going to take a quick break and let you get yourself armed and prepared to read out a few poems.
I'm prepared, yeah.
Everyone's wondering there. You won't know. So Dave just showed me all the piece of paper he's got in the air. So
piece of paper showing in the air.
Like a cowboy. So right,
well, they're all in order. They're all in order.
Right, back in a minute, guys. Okay, see you all in a minute. Thanks.
Okay.
Spoken, mate.
Hi, guys. Okay, straight over to Dave. He's got a variety of poems for us. Go for it, mate.
Okay, so these are poems which I've chosen mainly of those over the years in which people have particularly liked. I might not have thought of them as being the greatest of greats, but other people have come up. The first one was from 1988, would you believe it? Nearly 30 years ago.
Wow.
I got beat up outside a club in Middlesbrough. Okay, and I then read for the first time, and people came over to me, and I thought, ooh, that's interesting. So this is the Speakeasy Crew. You're a bastard, you. You beat me up until I was black and blue. I remember you. It was the Butterfish Bar late at night. I just said goodbye to my girlfriend and was filled with the glow of love and alcohol. And then I saw them, the Speakeasy Crew. Their worries had been drowned by the new religious water called Red Stripe. They came over to me. Have you got the right time, mate? About 12, she said. You're not from here, are you? Maybe they thought I was from Mars or something. I don't know. You're not like us. I looked at myself, 2 arms, 2 legs. I thought I looked the same. They didn't. Bang, they hit me. My head crashed against the door. I didn't turn round. I ran and ran, my heart jumping into my throat. For weeks, I used to cross over the road every time I saw a gang of lads. I tried to tell myself it wouldn't happen again, but I bloody well know it will. So that was way back in before you were born. I mean, you were twinkling your mum's eye, Andy.
Dave, don't you? I'm 48, mate. 16 when that one came out. My poems were all right. So my poems that time, my blood killing my ex-girlfriend, so they went much better.
So well, great. So again, the next one that people used to like. And it was dating was a big thing on the internet then. And I spent many a year, many a month of stupidity. And this is absolutely true. Dating in a state. I'm hanging around on a dating in a state. The keyboards are covered in tobacco and crisps and they're sticky with beer. And I'm telling someone, I like to climb mountains. I'm calm, I'm sensitive, and I'm in control, and I'm solvent. But I'm typing words I can't see, and I'm starting to spill the truth. I'm divorced. I've got kids. I like betting, drinking, smoking, and doing most things to stop me from feeling. My kids are miles away, and I'm up in the air. Are you still there? Thank you.
Brilliant. Great stuff.
So that was so then I was living in Liskeard then, and again I'm picking all the poems that relate to what people thought were resonated with them. And this was my little street in Liskeard, falling into decay under the Tories. Street scene. That's a tanning studio, that's a chippy, that's a tanning studio, that's a hairdresser's, empty shop, empty shop, empty shop. That's a smoke-free Weatherspoons, that's a closed pub, that's a closed pub, that's a closed pub, that's a couple strapped for cash, that's a family next door whose gyro couldn't last. That's a fake tan, that's a discarded chip paper, and that's another fake tan. That's just a street that's come to its end.
Brilliant. No, I agree with that one, mate. Agree with you completely.
So, and then the poem I did this year in particular was with the pandemic, and this was printed quite often actually. Was the daily count of lives, and again that seemed to resonate, and that's why I'm putting this one in here. And it's come back again, isn't it? It's the daily numbers figures. 746. 6 fell in love more than 4 times. 673. 20. I had no regrets. 714 today. 5 could still feel their first kiss. 643. 27 looked at photos of their loved one each and every morning. 547. 7 of them had a contagious laughter. 517. 100 regretted that their beauty had faded. 468. 35 had worked in the same job all of their lives. 573. 8 had won awards for their services to others. 375. 75 had been broken-hearted. 817 had touched 1 million souls. 917, all had been loved by someone, because behind every number. Thank you.
Great stuff, that one.
So I've just got a couple more.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah.
I don't like what you, Davies. All your pieces, I won't know you. I know all your pieces are quite concise and to the point, so I'm quite happy you're doing a few.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll just do 3 very, very small ones. One of them was I was quite amazed. I was quite honoured. Your partner Amanda in her magazine picked up one of the poems, the last one I'm going to read, and I was thought, wow, that's interesting. So I think I'll go through, yeah. So I'll do 3 short ones and that's it, really. So the one is Swan Song. Now this used to go down, I used to always read this last of all at every concert I did, a bit like U2 when they used to sing 40 all the time, you know what I mean? Not comparing myself to U2's popularity, but you know, it was always that last little Swan Song, and it's called Swan Song. And yeah, no life is right, no life is wrong, no life is left with just a swan song. Somewhere along the lifeline, you woke someone up, you made someone happy and not fed up. And although you've let people eat you up inside, you were just too young to realize that your life is not right. Your life is not wrong. Your life was singing, as it will, at the Swan Song. So that was that one. Now this one, the next one I'm going to do is Alone. And again, it's one of them poems which I discarded. And then I was interviewed on Preston Radio, and I sent this poem off, and the woman was quite emotional about it. And I thought, oh, maybe this poem's got something. Yeah, I mean, you must have that as well, where you people tell you that something is good or it resonates with them. You don't really think about it. So this is Alone, and it's a true story. And I think a lot of people are going to be alone. They're alone at Christmas, and they're alone because of the virus. And this was when I was separated a while ago, but I had kids and everything. Still have them, but alone. I used to buy toilet paper before. This is called Alone, by the way. Sorry. I used to buy toilet paper for 4, now just for 1. So I get the 2-pack, the half loaf, and the small pack of Marge. I open the door of my 1-bedroom flat, make a cup of tea for 1, listen to songs by people missing someone. I make my single bed, turn round to see no one. I wake up, kiss no one goodbye, shed tears that no one will see. I come back at night and I climb the stone stairs, open the door, turn on the light, and I imagine you're all there. Thank you.
Great.
And yeah, and the last one is when I was living in Germany at the time, and I was in a block of flats and with the kids, and I walked downstairs and there was a leaf on the floor. And this is the poem, and it's a dead one. I'm turning over a new leaf, and it's a dead one. Left over from autumn, something unpleasant on this spring morning. I'm turning over a new leaf, and it's a dead one. Thank you for that, Andy. Really
Brilliant stuff, Dave. Always a pleasure having you on, mate. So as always,
I've loved it, mate.
Thank you, mate. Hang around as always, Dave. I need a quick word off mic. Thank you again,
Okay.
mate. Fantastic today, mate. Take care, guys.
I enjoyed it.
John Callis says, stay over and stay safe.
Spoken, mate.